Thanks for tuning in to our pre-alpha gameplay presentation of Aquanox Deep Descent. For those of you who do not know the series yet, the series started with Archimedean Dynasty, in Germany Lifeguard, which was followed by Aquanox 1 and Aquanox 2. With Aquanox Deep Descent, we're updating the series, we're rebooting it, and we're starting with a new entry and a new version of this underwater world. For Aquanox Deep Descent, we are aiming to combine the best of both worlds, take the strategic depth of the DOS classic Archimedean Dynasty, combined with the fast-paced action that you had in Aquanox 1 and Aquanox 2. Like the original series, the game is a deep-sea vehicle shooter set in a dystopian world where the surface of the Earth has been completely destroyed by humanity, and mankind has had to flee into stations in the deep sea, in the oceans, former research stations, mining stations, so places that were never meant to be a habitat for a lot of people. And now the scarce remainder of humankind has to somehow try to survive in this hostile world. The first big new addition that we've added to the game is a 4-player drop-in co-op. So when you now explore the game and you play through the story mode, you can play the entire story with up to 3 of your friends. Here in the video you can see 2 people playing together. In the final game it might be 3, it might be 4, you can drop in and out and then together fight your enemies. At the heart of the series has always been the deep sea combat. Archimedean Dynasty and Lifeguard was a bit more tactical, you had more strategic options, whereas Aquanox 1 and 2 were mission-based arcade shooters. Apart from the 4-player drop-in co-op, the next big addition are the customizable ships. So you can see here different ship types, they are based on the different factions in the game, but then you can also go in and customize those ships. Some of the ships are based on ships from the original series, so for those of you who know the old games, you'll recognize the shapes, you'll recognize the names. So this, for example, the ship that you can see here from the pirate faction is loosely based on the succubus from the original games. So you can either keep it and make it rather similar to the original ship, or you can go ahead and basically create your personal version of your favorite ship from the old games, which we think is pretty cool. You can also paint it differently, you can add decals, all this kind of stuff. Of course, these parts, they are not just decoration, they also change the stats of your ship. So it's basically like in an RPG when you change around the armor on your character. Just in this case, your ship is your character, and all the parts influence not just how your ship handles, the maneuverability, the agility, its armor, all this kind of stuff. And basically you can adapt your ship to your playstyle. To bring in the strategic depth of Archimedean Dynasty that we've been referring to, we've added secondary weapons to the game. So apart from the 2 big primary weapons that you see in your cockpit, you've got 6 different types of these in the game. But on top of that, you've got secondary weapons which you can directly put on your ship. Those are tactical weapons that, for example, automatic turrets that shoot at the enemy, that aim automatically at the enemy, or mine droppers that drop mines behind you. Like this, you can really customize your playstyle via the ship. You customize the ship to fit how you want to play the game. If you equip all your secondary weapons with active weapons, you can basically shoot up to 6 weapons at once. The third big addition to the series that we've added to the gameplay of the series is the exploration aspect. Here you can see the player scanning a shipwreck that he found, checking whether he might find some special parts that you can buy anywhere, or in this case, just some metal scrap. So basically there are different kinds of resources in the game that you can collect around the world. So we encourage you to really look around the world. You can use these resources to just sell them, earn some money, or if you actually want to just save your hard-earned cash, you can refill your consumables like your repair kits and stuff like this in the water, which means you don't have to go into a station to buy some repair kits. You can just refill the stuff you need for combat right in your ship. The game itself is structured to have several bigger zones. Each zone you can basically dive around freely, you can explore it freely, and you unlock zone by zone and can always return to the earlier zones that you found. So that later in the game, when you've got a better ship, you can go back to a zone you've been to previously and explore the deeper parts, the deeper caves of that zone. Since the water levels have risen in Aquanox Deep Descent quite considerably and a lot of continents have been basically drowned, you'll find these sunken buildings that you can explore and again look for loot, look for sunken wrecks, or just run into a skirmish, like in this example. In the game, we really try to be as immersive as possible and to keep you in the cockpit as long as possible. So here you can see the player using the free mode, where you can look around freely in your cockpit, enter some of the menus. So we've tried to really keep some of the main menus inside the cockpit. You don't have to go into some external menu. Your world map, your mission list, all this is in little displays in your actual cockpit. In this case, the player has just changed his primary weapon setup and put on a railgun, which is basically like a more sniper-like weapon, so that he can, from a dark cave, from the entry of a dark cave, surprise the enemy from behind. Last but not least, the big thing we're looking at all the time and that we're trying to really get right is the feeling of being in the water. What we came up with to really make you feel the water is a system that is based on active boosting, so basically dodge boosting. Your ship cannot turn and move as fast as if it was in completely free space. There's water around it, water that gives pressure against the ship, but you've got these active boosts where you can quickly dodge into any direction you want to go to, up, down, left, right. If a torpedo is heading your way, at the right moment you use one of those boosts. The game is set to release for a late spring 2017 with 4-player drop-in co-op and also classic multiplayer. The classic multiplayer we hope to bring to you by the end of this year already as a beta, so you can check out the game, give us your feedback. We know that you can only do a great multiplayer with the help of the community. And the game will be released on PC, Mac and Linux, and we're also looking into making it, bringing it out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We hope to see you very soon in the world of Aqua, and we hope that you enjoyed this little presentation of our pre-alpha gameplay of Aquanox Deep Descent.